Hello, and welcome back to BBX Learning English Podcast. I'm Jason, your host. Today, Rosa will join us instead of Julia. Hey, Rosa, how are you doing today?
Hi, Jason. I'm doing great, and I'm really looking forward to today's episode. We're going to discuss something many English learners might not know is possible: learning English without using books.
That's right. Many people believe you need textbooks, grammar exercises, and long study periods to learn English. But today, we'll show you how you can boost your English naturally, without depending on books at all.
And the best thing about it? It's enjoyable, useful, and something you can do daily without it feeling like studying.
Exactly. So if you've had trouble with usual learning ways or got tired of textbooks, this episode is definitely for you. Stay with us till the end because we'll share some great tips that could totally change how you learn English.
Plus, we've got some real-life examples, fun methods, and a few surprises coming up. So put on your headphones, get comfy, and let's begin.
Okay, Rosa, let's begin with a major question. Why would someone even think about learning English without books? Isn't that the standard way to learn?
Good question, Jason. Books can be useful, sure, but they aren't the only path to learning. Actually, a lot of people find it hard learning from books because they focus too much on grammar rules and writing tasks instead of actual communication.
That is very true. Many learners get caught in a study loop but don't really use English. They spend months learning words and grammar, but when they try to speak, they get stuck.
Exactly. That's because speaking and listening are quite different skills compared to reading and writing. When you learn without books, you concentrate more on real-world communication, which is what really helps you become fluent.
Yeah, and let's remember, many people just don't like studying from books. They think it's dull, takes too much time, or it's hard to keep up with.
Right. And learning should be fun. When you use other methods like listening to English, watching videos, or having actual conversations, you learn in a natural way, much like kids do when they learn their first language.
That's an excellent point. Babies don't begin learning their native language by studying grammar books. They learn by listening and copying what they hear. And adults can do the same thing with English.
Precisely. Plus, learning without books offers more flexibility. You don't have to carry heavy textbooks around or sit in a classroom. You can learn anytime, anywhere, on your phone, during your commute, or even while doing everyday tasks.
That helps learning English fit into your life instead of feeling like a task. And frankly, it can be much more effective because you learn in a way that mirrors how people actually talk in real life.
That's why today we plan to share some of the best ways you can get better at English without ever opening a textbook. So if you've had difficulties with books, don't stress, we're here to help.
Okay, let's move to our first method, learning English through real-life conversations. All right, now that we see why learning English without books is a good idea, let's discuss one of the most effective ways to do it, real-life conversations. Rosa, why is talking with real people so crucial?
Great question, Jason. The best way to master a language is by actually using it. Think about it. When we were children, we didn't learn our first language from grammar books. We simply talked and listened to the people near us.
Exactly. And the more we talked, the better we became. That's the secret. Real conversations make you think in English and reply naturally, which is much more effective than just memorizing word lists.
right? Also, conversations help you learn words in context. For instance, if you're discussing food in a restaurant, you'll naturally pick up words like menu, order, or delicious because you're using them in a real setting.
That makes perfect sense. And speaking also builds confidence. Many learners fear making mistakes, but the more they practice, the simpler it becomes.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. You don't need a teacher or a class to have real conversations. You can practice with friends, colleagues, or even online through language exchange partners.
That's a great point. And if you lack someone to practice with, here's a fun idea. Talk to yourself. It might sound odd, but it truly helps.
Yes, you can narrate what you're doing. Like, I'm making coffee now. Or picture a conversation in your mind. It gets you thinking in English and comfortable with speaking.
That's a really easy way to practice. And if you want something more interactive, you could also use apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, or Speaky to chat with native speakers or fellow learners.
Exactly. And if you feel shy, begin small. Order food in English, ask for directions, or just greet someone in English. Every small interaction helps.
That's excellent advice. The main thing is to speak as often as you can, even if you make errors. Remember, fluency develops through practice, not perfection.
Yes. So if you're listening now, here's a challenge for you. Today, try to have at least one English conversation, even a brief one. You might be surprised by how much you pick up.
That's a fine challenge. All right, now let's discuss another enjoyable way to learn English without books: movies and TV shows. Okay, let's talk about one of the most fun ways to learn English: watching movies and TV shows. Rosa, why is this method so great?
Because it's both entertaining and effective. When you watch English movies and TV shows, you hear how native speakers really communicate. You absorb real-life phrases, slang, and natural pronunciation, often without even noticing you're learning.
That's very true, and it's much more pleasant than memorizing words from a textbook. Plus, you actually get to see how people use body language and facial expressions when they talk.
Exactly. And the best part is, you can learn at your own speed. If something goes by too quickly, just pause, rewind, and listen again. You can also use subtitles to aid your understanding.
That's a useful tip. Regarding subtitles, what's the ideal way to use them? Should learners always watch with subtitles in their own language?
Not always. If you're just starting, it's fine to begin with subtitles in your native language, but as you get better, switch to English subtitles. This way, you link the words with their sounds and meanings.
Yes, and once you feel more assured, try watching with no subtitles at all. It could be tough initially, but it really helps train your ears to catch spoken English.
Right. And another fun technique is to repeat what you hear. If you hear a phrase or sentence you like from a movie, pause it and say it aloud. This aids in improving your pronunciation and the rhythm of your speech.
I like that idea. And picking the right kind of show matters too. If you're a beginner, don't jump into complex movies filled with hard words. Try watching sitcoms such as Friends or The Big Bang Theory.
Yes, or even cartoons like Finding Nemo or Toy Story. They use straightforward, clear English that's easier to follow.
Great ideas. And remember, don't worry if you don't grasp everything. Just enjoy the show and allow your brain to soak up the language naturally.
Exactly. So if you're listening currently, your challenge is to watch at least 10 minutes of an English TV show or movie today. Try to spot new words and phrases, and maybe even repeat a few lines.
That's a fantastic challenge. And now let's proceed to another strong method for learning English: listening to podcasts and audiobooks. Ready, Rosa?
Let's do it.
All right, Rosa. We just discussed learning from movies and TV shows, but there's another potent way to improve English: podcasts and audiobooks. Why do you believe these are so effective?
Podcasts and audiobooks are wonderful because they let you immerse yourself in English even when you're occupied. You can listen while commuting, working out, or even doing house chores.
That's a huge benefit. Unlike reading a book, you don't need to sit down and concentrate. You can learn while moving.
Exactly. And another excellent aspect is hearing natural pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. This helps you get accustomed to how English is spoken in actual conversations.
That's a crucial point. Many learners find listening difficult because textbook English differs from real spoken English. But listening to podcasts gets you used to various accents and ways of speaking.
Right? And the best part? There are countless podcasts and audiobooks available for different skill levels. Beginners can start with slow, clear English podcasts, while advanced learners can listen to native-level material.
Yes, and for story lovers, audiobooks are brilliant. They enhance your vocabulary, listening skills, and even your imagination simultaneously.
Exactly. And here's a tip. If you listen to something and don't catch everything, don't fret. Just aim to grasp the main idea rather than understanding every single word.
That's very important. Many learners get frustrated when they don't understand 100%, but that's perfectly normal. The key is to continue listening regularly, and over time, your brain will naturally pick up more.
Yes. So if you're listening to this podcast right now, you're already employing one of the top methods for learning English. Well done.
That's right. And here's a quick challenge for our listeners. Find an English podcast or audiobook today and listen for at least 5 minutes. Even just a few minutes daily can significantly contribute.
Love that challenge. And now let's talk about another great way to learn English: using social media and online content.
All right, Rosa, so we've covered podcasts, movies, and conversations, but let's be real. Most people spend hours on social media daily, so why not use it for learning English?
Exactly, Jason. Social media isn't just for entertainment. It can be a strong learning resource. There are so many ways to practice English with content found on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and even Twitter.
That's true. And the best part? It's usually short and simple to take in. You don't need to sit with a thick book. Just watching a minute-long video or reading a brief post in English can be beneficial.
Yes. For example, you could follow English learning accounts on Instagram or TikTok. They often share quick grammar points, new words, and pronunciation tips.
And let's not forget YouTube. There are numerous English learning channels available. Plus, you can watch content aimed at native speakers, like vlogs, interviews, or educational videos.
Right? And a smart trick is to follow English-speaking influencers, bloggers, or even comedians. That way, you see and hear natural English used in everyday contexts.
That's a useful tip. Also, social media offers a chance to interact in English. You can leave comments, answer posts, or join discussions in Facebook groups or on Reddit forums.
Yes, writing comments is an excellent way to practice. And if you're hesitant, start small. Just type, "Great post," or "Thanks for sharing." Then, as you gain confidence, write longer comments.
Love that approach. And here's another idea. Change the language settings on your phone and your apps to English. That way, you encounter English words daily without even trying.
That's clever. It encourages your brain to adjust. And remember, social media is interactive. You can produce content in English too. Try making a short video or writing a post about your day.
Yes, even something basic like tweeting one sentence in English each day can help. The more you use English, the more natural it feels.
Exactly. So here's today's challenge. Find one new English learning account to follow and leave an English comment on one of their posts today. It's a simple way to get some practice.
That's a great challenge. Now let's discuss another exciting way to improve English: traveling and immersing yourself in an English-speaking setting. All right, Rosa, we've talked about using social media, movies, and podcasts. But what about everyday activities? How can someone practice English during their normal routine?
Good question, Jason. The best method to learn English without books is to integrate it into your daily life. You don't need to find extra time. Just link English to things you already do.
That's very true. And one easy way is to think in English. Instead of using your native language inside your head, try describing your actions in English.
Yes. For instance, if you're making coffee, tell yourself, "I'm boiling water now. I'm adding sugar." It seems basic, but it genuinely helps.
I like that. And here's another suggestion. Talk to yourself in English. It might feel strange initially, but it's great for building confidence. Just describe your day like, "Now I'm heading to work. It's a sunny day."
Exactly. And if you want to take it a step further, try keeping a daily journal in English. Write a couple of sentences about your day before you sleep. It's a good way to practice writing and formulating your thoughts.
That's a wonderful habit. Another idea is labeling items around your home in English. Use sticky notes on your fridge, mirror, or TV so you constantly see English words.
That's a fun method. And speaking of fun, you can also play English games on your phone. There are apps focused on vocabulary, listening, and even interactive dialogue practice.
Yes, and don't overlook music. Listening to English songs and singing along aids pronunciation and fluency. Try looking up the lyrics and understanding their meaning.
Absolutely. Music is an excellent way to learn without it feeling like studying. And here's one more idea. When you go shopping or prepare a meal, try reading labels, menus, or recipes in English.
Great tip. The aim is to surround yourself with English in small, manageable ways. So here's today's challenge. Choose one daily task and try to do it using English today.
I love it. Whether it's thinking in English, labeling things, or singing a song, just incorporate English into your routine. The more you practice it, the more natural it will become.
Exactly. And now, let's head to our final part. Staying consistent and having fun while learning English. All right, Rosa, we've shared numerous great ways to learn English without books. But let's be frank, none of these approaches will succeed if learners lack confidence or fail to stay consistent.
Right? And confidence is vital. If you're scared of making errors, you won't speak. And if you don't speak, you won't get better. Yes, mistakes are a natural part of learning. Every person fluent in English made countless mistakes before becoming proficient. Instead of feeling awkward, view mistakes as signs of progress.
I love that perspective. And consistency is equally crucial. Even if you practice for only 10 minutes a day, doing it daily is more effective than studying for 5 hours once a month.
Absolutely. The key lies in small daily routines. Listen to a podcast, watch a brief video, say a few sentences to yourself. Just engage with English in some way every day.
And here's a suggestion. Monitor your progress. Keep a journal, record yourself speaking, or set small targets like, I will learn 5 new words today. Observing your improvement will help keep you motivated.
That's a great idea. And remember, learning English ought to be enjoyable. Don't make yourself study in a way that feels tedious. Discover what excites you and savor the journey.
Exactly. So here's our final challenge. Choose one small English habit and commit to it for the next 7 days. It could involve listening to a podcast, speaking aloud, or writing one sentence daily.
That's a perfect challenge. And don't forget, stay confident, be patient with yourself, and enjoy your English learning experience.
Well put, Rosa. And with that, we're concluding this episode. All right, Rosa, before we finish, let's offer our listeners some last tips to help them succeed with learning English without books.
Great idea, Jason. My first tip is, don't wait for the ideal time to begin. Just start now. Even if you feel hesitant, use the methods we talked about today and take action.
That's so crucial. And my tip is, immerse yourself in English daily. Whether it's listening to a podcast, watching short videos, or thinking in English, just continue doing it.
Yes, and here's another one. Don't fear making mistakes. Every error is a chance to learn. So instead of feeling embarrassed, learn from it and keep going.
Exactly. And my final tip, enjoy the journey. Learning a language should be fun, not a source of stress. Pick content and activities that you find exciting, and learning will feel more natural.
I love that. So to all our listeners, here's your challenge. Select one method from today's episode and begin using it immediately. Whether it's watching an English video, talking to yourself, or commenting on a post, just do it.
Yes, and don't forget to subscribe to our podcast so you won't miss any episodes. Also, share this podcast with friends who want to learn English in an enjoyable and natural manner.
That's right. And if you have questions or would like more tips, reach out to us in the comments or on social media. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you for being with us today. Keep practicing, stay confident, and remember, you can definitely learn English without books. See you next time.
See you next time. Keep learning and have fun.